Most people think that experiences in life happen on a sliding scale. We try to find ways to get from misery to joy. It becomes a game of figuring out which stuff takes you towards joy and away from misery. At one level of consciousness, it seems as though the way to move to joy is by having the right stuff: money, a good job, a great relationship, a nice home, the shiny stuff we all can show off. But as we look deeper, we start to notice that there are plenty of people who have all the stuff but are still miserable. And we also know people that don't have any of it and are happy. So we begin to look deeper and we see that it's not the stuff but our actions that make us happy or unhappy. So the second level of consciousness becomes, well, if you do the right thing, you'll feel good about yourself. And if you do the wrong thing, your conscience will haunt you forever. The problem with this view is that we all know that more often than not, good things happen to bad people and bad things happen to good people. So doing the right thing, although should be its own reward, does not lead people to happy lives. After all, it seems kind of unfair that much goodness can go unnoticed and bad things get the recognition they don't deserve. So the next level leads us towards internal things. We realize that it's not the things that happen to us, but what we think about what happens that determine our experience. That's why two people can see the same event and have two completely different feelings about it. So we do what we think is the right direction to joy: positive affirmations and keeping a positive mindset. There's just one problem with that. We have the inability to keep the positive thoughts, and that becomes more work than we cut it out to be. We quickly realize that we really can't control the thoughts that come into our head. We can only choose the thoughts we decide to engage in. We don't really get to decide what pops up into our heads. Think about the times you wake up in the morning. Do you decide the first thought that pops into your head? Nah, I didn't think so. So wait a minute, hang on. Happiness doesn't come from what we have or what we own. Happiness doesn't come from thinking positive thoughts, because we don't really get to choose the thoughts that come in. Well then, what does that leave us with? Aren't we kind of screwed? If happiness is outside of our control, what's the point of pursuing it? Well, what if you stop pursuing it? What if the more you pursue it, the farther you'll be from finding it? What if happiness can only be pursued indirectly? Okay, let's back up. Are you ready? The reason we can't find happiness from things, or positive affirmations, or trying, is because happiness is not a thing. It's not something that we can have or not have, successfully get or lose. All right, should I keep going? Okay, good. So after this realization occurs, some people decide, since we can't control our thoughts, well, we might as well not think at all. So we start to create complex routines like prayer, meditation, yoga, silent retreats, and all sorts of stuff to at least temporarily stop our thoughts. Now don't get me wrong, many times after the stuff above, we do get a sense of peace and well-being, that's for sure. The problem isn't so much doing that stuff. The problem is the time, dedication, and practice to get to that place. Now, it may seem like a small price to pay for inner peace, but what if you didn't have to do all that? What if there's another level of understanding beyond this one? Wait, what? All right, are you ready to take it to another level? Now, are you really ready? Okay, good. So we've decided that we aren't going to get happiness from things. It's impossible to control our thoughts, so we don't need to practice our positive affirmations. And frankly, I don't want to live in the mountains to get inner peace, so that doesn't have to be the answer either. Sitting in silence. So pay attention and draw this diagram. What I'm about to tell you is going to sound crazy, outlandish, yeah, even silly. Or it may sound so obvious that you may want to dismiss it. Now, what I want you to do is see above the words, and something will happen. Something amazing can happen. Now, I don't want you to believe me. I want you to see this for yourself. So let's start from the beginning. You see, we were born at peace, in tune with the infinite, in touch with our bliss. We are what we were looking for. We've always had this innate well-being. Even as babies, our very human needs from time to time interfere with that connection of this innate well-being. We start to feel physical pain and physical discomfort. Because we don't yet understand the source of this discomfort, we do the best we know to try to solve it by screaming bloody murder. Then, to our delights and amazement, someone comes and makes it all better. They feed our hunger, dry our bottoms, make noises, and entertain us with objects and movements. And before we know it, we're back in touch with that innate well-being. So it's natural for us to connect or attribute a return to well-being to the people or activities that seem to be causing it. We are okay because mommy loves us. We are okay because daddy protects us. And we feel okay because all the people around us. And of course, they all have our well-being at heart. And that's why we feel okay. But then one day, we do something in our joy that mommy and daddy didn't like. We splash a color on a wall or cry when daddy's tired. And suddenly, the ocean of love we are used to swimming in is filled with sharks and other bad monsters. And before long, we quickly buy into the myth of love and well-being living outside of us. But well-being, happiness, connection, love, peace, spirit is your nature. The reason you can never consistently hang onto it when you pursue it from the outside is because it's already inside of you. It's like looking for your keys in the street when you've left them in the house. No matter how long and hard you look, you'll never find what's not there. It's like trying to bite your own teeth or grab your own hand. It's impossible to do because it's already a part of you. Okay, I digress. So what if there's nothing to do but to start from the place that your true nature is your innate well-being? What if you gave yourself one less job to go look for it if you already know it's part of you? What if when you're going through your low moods, your body's just trying to tell you that you're farther away from your innate well-being, and all you have to do to acknowledge that is just to remind yourself. Maybe that's all you'll need. What if you didn't try to do something and allowed yourself to get comfortable in that space, to know that you already have it and there's nothing to get? Where would that lead you to? This may just be the start of your journey into this understanding. Maybe this is the place where it just starts to click. You know, those places where you start to get those aha moments, those insights and bursts of love that we can't explain. We just know that happens in that space of our true nature, our innate well-being. What if it's a place to start where you don't have to even start at all? Because as soon as you realize that you've already got it, there's nothing to try to go get. You see, that space of our true nature, our innate well-being, it's inside of us already. For so many of us, we've been searching around looking for our innate well-being, happiness and love from the outside world, that we've been missing the gifts that has been inside of us this whole time. It's not a matter of looking for it. It's a matter of acknowledging that you already have it. You see, you don't have to go from misery to try to get to joy. You just have to know that you have innate well-being. And it's only when you start to believe into those negative thoughts and make them real that you go into being in misery. Because those thoughts do not exist until you engage in them. And when you realize thoughts don't exist until you breathe life into them, things start to change. And once you get into that space, that's where miracles occur. That's where the revolution happens. It's time to be a part of that inside out revolution. Are you ready?